If he's so big and is going to stretch you wide, is it okay to let him come inside? What is up, sapiosexuals? Thank you for turning on Sex in South Beach with your girl, Dr. Sonjia, America's sex educator. So, the sex situation we're getting into today is all about overly endowed men. Yes, we are talking about men with a penis so big, it's like impossible for them to gently enter you because when they do, they just dig. And to help us untangle this big situation, we've got the dragoness, the sultry, sensual seductress, who's not only organic, but also super orgasmic. Thank you for being here, dragoness. I'm so happy to see you. How are you?
So happy to see you too, Sonjia. It's so nice to be here. I'm amazing. So happy to be here.
So I love having you on the show because you're like me. We all love sex on this show, right? We
Yes.
like penetrative sex, non-penetrative sex, oral sex, mind-blowing sex, always the best, the mind-blowing sex, right? And I know you deeply love sex. And so I'm super interested. You are the perfect person to ask. What would you do if you encountered a super overly endowed man? Like he showed you the goods and they were so big and beautiful. You were like, oh, wow. This is astonishing. I mean, what would you do?
I would just say no at
Like
first.
we
I
all learned in school, just say no.
just say no. It's okay. I mean, it's not for everybody. It's definitely not for me at first. And we would have a discussion, and if I really liked the person and wanted to pursue a relationship with them, there's other options we can take. It's just such a big commitment. So at first, I would definitely say no. Definitely with casual
Big
sex,
commitment.
big is big no. Big no for casual because it's a big commitment to how it would affect our bodies. So, especially, if it's a non commitment situation, it's a hard no. If it's something that is going to be repeated and you're intimately involved with this person, there are other avenues we can take, toys and hands and different techniques we can use and ways we can help ourselves prepare. If it's somebody of substance that you're looking to continue with.
Absolutely. I agree with you. I can remember in my younger years, I always call them the hot years. I did encounter a man with this big, beautiful penis. He did feel the need to show it to me very early on so that we could know whether or not we were going to be continue dating. And I was like, hard no. No, no, no. I actually said no. That's not what I said. I said, yes, we can do this right after we get married.
That's right.
So if you're gonna be with me until we figure out whether or not we're gonna get married, and then
Right.
we'll figure it out, we can absolutely do this.
Yeah,
But yeah, because a lot of women, I was like, I don't want to be completely stretched out um,
exactly.
and put my body through all of that. And also, I was very young, so I was thinking about, well, all the men I date after this guy, like they're never gonna measure up.
Exactly. I feel like it probably would just your sensitivity level and how you also receive pleasure. So it's a big commitment.
Absolutely. Now, as we enter this conversation, I want to make sure everyone knows the average size erection for 96% of men in America is estimated at 5 inches or less. So I know everyone thinks they're so big, and but when your hands are on top of each other, they're not that long.
Uh-huh.
So you're like, oh, I have to use both hands. Well, I mean, and if you think about your mouth, like
Hmm.
there's not more than 5 inches between your lips,
Right.
and your throat, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
so that's important for everybody to know. And women, we can also stretch up to
Hmm.
200%. Vaginas are incredibly elastic. So
Hmm.
we can definitely accommodate it. But like, your favorite pair of leggings, you wear them so often,
Mhm.
eventually they lose some of the elasticity. And the
Right.
same thing can happen with women if we're
Exactly.
not taking care of retaining our elasticity.
That's right.
So I have another question. If you could exercise your way back to tightness, like this guy comes with a guide, right? He's like, yes, I know I have this huge penis because we really are here to help people. So I
Mhm.
know there's someone listening who is one of these overly endowed men. And imagine we're two women who are saying, no, no, it's a no go, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
how are they supposed to date? And then there's also that poor woman who's like, oh my God, he's so big. I do love him, but he's just so big. What do I do about this? So, the goal of
Mhm.
this show, we're going to help the
Yeah.
guy who's too big, and we're going to help that woman who's also trying to deal with the man who's too big,
Mhm.
or, whoever they're dealing with. So, of course, everyone already knows lube is super important.
Mhm.
Wetter is better, whether you're regular
Yep.
size, small size, big size, wetter is
Yes.
always better. Do you agree?
Yes, or coconut oil if you wanna be organic about it. Yes.
Yes, a lot of people do use coconut oil. Beware of those people who have nut allergies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always make myself laugh because I'm like, nut allergies. Ha ha ha, the nut. There's also the person listening who has just broken up with the guy who's super big.
Yikes.
And as we're talking about exercising our way back to tightness, I know you and I have had many conversations about doing Kegel exercises.
Mhm.
And I think you have even weighted Kegel balls. Do
Because
you?
of you. Yes, because of you. God, you kicked my ass in the gym, in and out of the gym. Yes, thanks to your show,
We're going to work out every
I work
problem,
out everything.
everything, everything. And in addition, if someone really needs extra support, there's all these cool new electromagnetic devices that
Mhm.
you can buy on Amazon. Have you heard about the biker shorts, Dragoness?
Yeah, on your show. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, right. So there's these biker shorts that have all
Mhm.
these electrodes that you wear them for a half hour a day, and it forces
Mhm.
your body to do Kegels. So
Right.
if you're not like Dragoness and I, we do love to work out. Like we get
Mhm.
high from working out. Like that's our thing. But not everyone is like us.
Mhm.
And if you are one of those people who doesn't like working out and you would really prefer for the workout to be done for you, those shorts might be an option.
Yeah. I would, in addition to the rejuvenation, there's also just other ways you can present intimacy with a well endowed partner with, toys. Sometimes, I don't know that the mouth would even be available, but there's other ways you can stimulate each other. If
Yeah, if you don't want the full penetration.
right.
I always say, your hands are here to help your mouth.
Yeah.
So obviously your mouth may not fit or it might not be comfortable to
Mhm.
orally stimulate a man who's overly endowed, but you can get your hands and your mouth working together.
Exactly. Yeah, like a sensual massage. So there are, ways around it in the interim until you have until they
Until they get
marry
married.
you.
Until they get
And you have
married.
a contract saying that they'll zip you up after too if something doesn't.
Yeah, that's actually, if you're going to marry an overly endowed man, we're suggesting that a prenup
Yes,
that has a little clause in it saying that they're going to sew you back up
that's right.
afterwards. And
I
definitely.
would say so.
And if you do want to hear more about all of those devices that are available to help you tighten up, we just did a show a couple of weeks ago, 5 tools to tighten up your orgasmic openings. So you should check it out, and then go shopping after that.
On
And then
Amazon.
exactly on Amazon, no prescription needed.
Free
And
returns.
right, exactly. And that's gross. Free returns. And I think what Dragoness and I would both encourage is whether or not you're with an overly endowed person or you've just broken up with an overly endowed person, you should always be working on tightening your vaginal walls because you don't want to pee on yourself when you're 40. right? You
Yeah.
don't want to wear a diaper when you're 50. And urinary incontinence is a real thing. Like over 70% of women are going to experience it at some point in their lives. I'm going to be part of the other 30% because I'm working on it now. I'm like, yes.
That's great.
Maybe one day we'll have like a workout class just for the vaginal
It's a
walls.
good idea.
I also think we could talk about for the woman who's wondering what to do and the guy who feels plagued, how does he help his partner? I think that there's different sexual positions that you could
Mhm.
use. Dragoness loves to use the term explore when you're exploring sexually. So I think that there's different sex positions
Yeah.
that couples should explore
Mhm.
to make it more comfortable.
Totally. Totally. Probably like side
Right.
position.
Well,
Um,
maybe. I know we've had in our clinics some very small men.
mhm.
Well, this is one patient. He was not 5 inches. Let's just put it that way.
Uh-huh.
He wasn't 5 inches. And he came in, he wanted his penis to be enlarged because he said his girlfriend really always liked it doggy style. And it
Mhm.
turned out she was a big, beautiful woman. That's what he was into. And
Mhm.
she had like the biggest ass I've ever seen in my entire life.
Mhm.
And going in doggy style, I'm like, man, your penis can't even make it past her butt cheeks.
Yeah,
You
right.
know, like
Yeah,
you would have to open her so far before
right.
she'd be able to feel you entering her.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't recommend doggy style traditionally, but as Dragoness just said, on the side would probably be very good for a big
Like
man.
laying down, like on your side. Yeah.
Yeah,
After a discussion is had, though, it can't just be, there needs to be a discussion before.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And like a safe word,
Yeah.
right? So like
Yeah.
like as yours where you're like too much, too
Yeah.
like, is this okay? Is
Mhm.
this okay? Okay, I'm gonna go a little bit more.
Mhm.
Is this okay? And actually, when we're talking, I'm just reminded we do have that episode, Explore the Back Door or
Mhm.
something like that. But we do
Mhm.
have a whole show on anal penetration. And I would say a lot of the same strategies that we advise people to use when they're
Totally.
starting with anal penetration,
Mhm.
you could probably adapt those same strategies when working with an overly endowed
Yes.
man. It's like just slow and gentle. And
Mhm.
then there is preparation. You might use a beads or
Mhm.
a bigger vibrator than she would normally use to start preparing the vagina.
Mhm.
But definitely not like happy baby position because then you're just all
Yeah.
in there. Then she's gonna feel it coming out of her throat.
Yeah.
Like I'm gagging.
Yeah.
Like she's gonna vomit her lunch. I also think, you really helped, give me a lot of encouraging feedback when I was developing my Yoga for Better Sex class. And so I think maybe that's a gentle way they can ease into their intimate relationship.
Mhm.
Like, let's do some yoga together. And right
Mhm.
now, there's the root chakra, which is where, both the penis and the vagina are located in the root
Mhm.
chakra. So we can do some root chakra yoga together and start tuning up our bodies in preparation. But that can also work as foreplay.
Yeah, I would say like do all the foreplay, have all the fun in the foreplay until you're ready to get married. I mean, just to keep it simple. It's like,
Let's get married and no divorces without the clause. You're going to fix me up clause. And
right.
you're so good at doing splits. Does split help?
Um,
Like, I would think that would be really helpful for just opening up. If you have not been on Dragoness's Instagram, you must go. It's Enter Dragoness. Unless you're overly endowed. She's already said no, I don't. But
sorry.
no, but her IG handle is Enter Dragoness, and she has a beautiful picture pinned to the top where she's doing the splits, and her legs are actually they are covering an entire staircase. It's super cool.
Thank
I
you.
imagine it would make an overly endowed man want to do you though. So I'm definitely going for her.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be down for all the foreplay in the world, but in all seriousness, yeah, I don't even think that splits would justify um the category that we're talking about.
What's your opinion, Dragoness? When should a man tell his partner that he's like really big?
It's a great question. I would say like when you all are starting to feel intimacy, because it's sometimes you don't need to. You definitely don't need to on the first date unless there's super extreme chemistry where you're like ready for each other like that first date, which could happen also too. You might have that electric chemistry. I would say before you like take your pants down, you should just like forewarn, hey, gently. I don't really know.
Wait, would you like to see how big my tongue is? My tongue does all kinds of tricks. Great. Like, first, would you like to see how big my tongue is?
Right.
And impress her with all the things. Remember, your tongue can be like pointy and
Uh-huh. Oh
strong and
yeah.
firm,
People
or it
people
can be
do amputations to their tongue. I mean, people actually pay a lot of money to do some really cool things with their figures of their tongues. So yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's a future podcast that you have some experience to offer. I'm not going to go there right now, but
Yeah.
the communication part, we touched on
Mhm.
that a little bit earlier. Like, sexual communication is so important.
Yeah.
And it's also can be so sexy
Yeah.
too. And I don't know. I think if a guy said, like, I have this thing and it's really big, then had a nice, like, sensual talk about, like, I really do want to give you pleasure, but I
Yeah.
want to let you know that I have a really large penis.
Uh-huh.
And of course she'll laugh because like, what guy doesn't think he has like a large
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
so she'll laugh, and then it's like, no, seriously. And at times, it has not always been pleasant for my
Yeah.
partners. I like you. I want to go. I want to get to know you more. But I want to know, is this going to be okay? Or are there things we should do together to explore, alternate positions?
Exactly.
So if he were to tell me how great
Mhm.
his tongue is, have that type of communication, say, let's do some yoga for better sex,
Yeah.
and then let's do a lot of different foreplay things. I
Yeah.
mean, I think he's on the right track then
I
to get
think
to
so.
know any woman. Like, what's she gonna say? Oh, my guy's so big.
Yeah.
Like, I think the point is to get her like dripping wet before they
Yeah.
ever have sex, and then approach it extraordinarily gently.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be the first thing that you talk about, but I would say like after there is chemistry and you both are, feeling a vibe together where you're both wanting to take it to the next level. Like there's no doubt that, I would first enjoy some of the, because I feel like that's, kind of, you don't want to have the discussion before you even like have a makeout session. You want to like allow
Right.
them to be natural and smooth, because that's not sexy either. You don't want to like have the talk before you even like enjoy some of the juice. So like just start a little bit, making sure there's that electric chemistry. And if you discover that you do want to take it to the mutually you want to take it to the next level, then that's when I would gently have that discussion and focus on, like you said, like that they want to ultimately make this pleasurable for their partner. So I would say like to focus on that first, turn that person on a little bit more. Also, just
Absolutely.
yeah, give that person, pleasure, and then they'll also like probably be more open to negotiate with you like ways to handle
Absolutely. And also, ladies, don't miss, like, reading between the lines. I think both Dragoness and I both feel you should see the goods before you consider doing it. You
it.
should
Hmm.
just you should get it. You should get a visual, whether they're overly endowed or under
Yeah,
endowed or just right. But you should have some sense of what to expect
yeah,
before you agree to have sex with someone.
totally. Yeah,
Yeah.
you want to make sure it's healthy and like smells okay and all the
Right.
things.
All of those
Yeah,
things. You
all
always
those
wonder,
things matter.
we have lights on our iPhones for a reason.
Yeah.
That is why, for a reason. All right, now it is time for your climax where we give you a little something, something to remember about how to have sex with an overly endowed man. One, 96% of men have an erection that's 5 inches or less. So this is not a major problem in society. We're really reaching out to those people who do have this problem because they're out there and they've actually reached out to us. So we really want to help. 2, vaginas have incredible elasticity and can stretch up to 200%. So if you have found someone who you're really into and you want to do them, you are not going to break in half. You will not destroy your entire body by agreeing to become intimate with this person. 3, different sex positions can definitely help make things much more comfortable. And sexual communication is super important in discovering the best positions that might work for you. And communication is an area that most of us really need to work on. Most of us are not really comfortable. So that's another reason why we do this show, is because sometimes it's difficult to have the conversation, but you know what's not hard? Playing this podcast with your partner, because it's going to spark a conversation that you've never had before. And so we're actually doing the hard work for you there. All right. And 4, remember, there are so many tools and exercises to help you tighten up a vagina. So if you've been with a big man and you need to heal your vagina to get ready for the rest of the population, definitely check out our show, 5 Tools to Tighten Up Your Orgasmic Openings. And 5, your vulva, vaginal region, and your penis are all located in your root chakra. My Yoga for Better Sex class has an entire segment focused on the root chakra, and you can download it right now on my website, drsonjia.com, drsonjia.com. Thank you so much, Dragoness, for joining us today. I cannot wait to do another show with you. For your daily dose of Nookie knowledge, check me out on all the social media networks. That's Dr. Sonjia, DRSONJIA, on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. Come on, baby. You know it's time to link up. I'm Dr. Sonjia, and I had so much fun chatting you up today, and I can't wait to do it again next time. Thank you for listening to Sex in South Beach, where everyone comes for happier, healthier sex.
My Uber driver lost his mind the other day, but he blamed me. He said I smelled so good he became too excited to drive. This man actually pulled over to get himself together. And he refused to drive until I told him the name of my fragrance. Then he bought 3 bottles before driving again. I know Sense body oil makes men crazy, but that Uber ride should be free. What's your Sense story?
SenseBodyOil.com. SENSE bodyoil.com.